Have you ever wondered why some simple words leave a mark on your soul for a lifetime, while others are forgotten in a second? Why a single phrase can spin in your mind all day, stirring excitement, joy, or the desire to hear it again? This is not magic and not coincidence, it's psychology. Carl Jung, one of the deepest thinkers of the 20th century, explained, "Words are not just a set of sounds. Words are symbols, and symbols are directly connected to our subconscious." We may think language is only about polite expressions like, "Hi," or, "How are you?" But in reality, language works on a much deeper level. That's why today I'll share with you 3 words that, if you say them to a man with the right tone, can launch an entire chain of emotions in his subconscious. These words are not just pleasant. They activate the ancient archetypes described by Jung, and that is why they work so powerfully. Maybe you're used to starting a conversation with something banal like, "Hi, how are you?" But such phrases don't leave an emotional trace. They are empty, neutral, quickly forgotten. Meanwhile, the 3 key words I'll tell you about do the opposite. They awaken depth, they leave an imprint, and a man will keep coming back to you in his thoughts again and again. It's important to understand, this is not about manipulation. This is about genuine connection. When you use the power of language consciously, you are not playing with a person, you are building a bond that nourishes both him and you. In the next few minutes, we'll explore why these 3 words work, what their power is based on, and which archetypes are triggered in a man's subconscious when he hears them. We'll see how Jung explained the influence of symbols on emotions. And most importantly, you will learn these 3 words that can make you unforgettable in a man's eyes. So stay until the end, because the culmination is yet to come. And when you finally hear these words, everything will fall into place. Carl Jung believed that the human mind is not only shaped by personal experiences, but also by something much deeper, the collective unconscious. This is like a hidden library of symbols, images, and emotions that every person carries within, regardless of culture or upbringing. And the most powerful access to this inner world is through language. Words are never just words. When you say something meaningful, the subconscious doesn't hear sounds, it hears symbols. Every symbol connects to emotions, memories, and archetypes that live inside us. That's why certain words can move us, inspire us, or even create an unexplainable bond with someone. Think of it this way: when you tell a man, "Hi, how are you?" his mind processes it as routine, just like hearing the sound of traffic or background noise. It doesn't activate anything in his subconscious. But if you say something that touches his need to be seen, valued, or protected, you awaken ancient patterns of the psyche that Jung described as archetypes. These archetypes are universal: the hero, the lover, the shadow, the wise one. They live in every human mind, and when your words connect with them, they trigger powerful emotional reactions that a man cannot simply ignore. He might not even understand why he keeps thinking about you, but his subconscious will already be working, linking your voice and your presence with something meaningful and unforgettable. This is why the 3 words I'll reveal to you later have such a strong impact. Each of them is tied to an archetype. Each of them sends a message not only to the rational mind, but directly to the subconscious. And once they are spoken, they echo inside him long after the conversation is over. So before we get to the words themselves, let's first look at why Jung insisted that language is not just communication, it is creation. Words shape reality. They create meaning where there was none before. And if you use them consciously, you are no longer just speaking, you are shaping the way another person experiences you. The first of the 3 words is simple, yet incredibly powerful: I see you. At first glance, it sounds ordinary, but in reality, this phrase touches one of the deepest needs of the human psyche: the need to be seen, recognized, and acknowledged. Carl Jung often emphasized that the parts of ourselves we hide, deny, or overlook form what he called the shadow. And one of the greatest desires every person carries is for that hidden self to be noticed and accepted. When you say to a man, "I see you," you are not just talking about physical sight. You are saying, "I notice who you are. I recognize your efforts. I acknowledge your existence in a way that goes beyond the surface." This is far more impactful than any casual greeting. Think about it. Most men live in a world where they are expected to perform, to provide, to prove themselves, but rarely do they hear words that affirm their deeper identity. "I see you" is a key that unlocks his subconscious longing to be understood, not for what he does, but for who he is. From the perspective of archetypes, this phrase resonates strongly with the shadow and with the lover archetype. The shadow longs for acceptance, while the lover craves connection and intimacy. Together, these archetypes respond with an emotional surge when a man feels genuinely seen. And the effect: he begins to associate you with a rare experience, being fully visible. That experience stays with him, echoing in his mind long after your words. He may replay the moment, wondering why it struck him so deeply. That's because the subconscious has been touched, and once awakened, it keeps working. So the first word is not a trick, it is a mirror. It reflects his true self back to him, and in doing so, it creates a bond that few people in his life have ever given him. These words go straight to a man's need for value and recognition. Jung explained that one of the driving forces of the psyche is the desire for significance, the urge to matter, to leave a mark. While many men are praised for what they do, their achievements, their work, their responsibilities, very few are appreciated simply for who they are. When you say, "I appreciate you," you are not just commenting on a single action. You are sending a message that his presence itself has meaning, that he is not invisible, not replaceable, not just another face in the crowd. You affirm his worth as a person, not as a performer. From the perspective of archetypes, this phrase touches the lover and the king. The lover longs for intimacy, while the king seeks recognition of his value and authority. To be appreciated is to feel crowned, to feel respected. And when these archetypes are activated, a man feels a profound sense of validation that lodges deep in his subconscious. Think of it like this. The world constantly demands effort from him. Work harder, earn more, prove yourself. But when you step out of that pattern and simply say, "I appreciate you," it interrupts the cycle. It gives him a rare experience of being valued without conditions. And because it is rare, it becomes unforgettable. The effect is immediate yet lasting. He may feel a wave of gratitude toward you, even if he can't put it into words. He will start to associate you with comfort, recognition, and emotional security. These feelings tie directly into his subconscious memory system, making him want to return to that source of affirmation, you. So the second word, "I appreciate you," is not about flattery. It is about nourishment. It feeds a part of his psyche that is usually starved. And when a man is fed emotionally in this way, he cannot help but be drawn closer. The third phrase is, "I'm with you." On the surface, it may seem simple, almost ordinary, but to the subconscious, it speaks directly to one of the deepest archetypes Carl Jung described, the hero. Every man carries within him the hero archetype, the part of him that longs to face challenges, overcome obstacles, and protect what matters. But the hero is also vulnerable. What gives him strength is not just his own will, but the sense that he is not alone in his journey. When you say, "I'm with you," you awaken this powerful archetype. You are not saying, "I agree with everything you do." You are saying something far greater. "I stand beside you. I am present in your struggles and your victories. You are not fighting alone." For a man, this phrase is magnetic. creates a subconscious link between you and his deepest instinct for connection, loyalty, and trust. It is the language of safety. And when a man feels safe with someone, he lowers his defenses and opens up in ways he normally would not. Psychologically, this phrase also ties into the archetype of the lover. The lover desires unity and belonging. "I'm with you" fulfills that desire, signaling that he is not isolated, but part of something meaningful. This combination, the hero's courage and the lover's intimacy, makes the phrase incredibly powerful. The effect is profound. A man may face 1,000 demands in his daily life. He may feel the world is against him, that his battles are endless. But when he hears, "I'm with you," it breaks through the noise. It creates a sanctuary, a space where he feels supported and strengthened. And because the subconscious always seeks places of safety, his mind will return to you as the source of that feeling. So the third phrase is not about dependence. It is about alliance. It is about becoming part of his inner story, the myth that every man lives, the story of the hero who overcomes because he is not alone. And once you are woven into that story, it is almost impossible for him to let you go. Now we arrive at the culmination of everything we've discussed. Each of the three phrases, "I see you," "I appreciate you," "I'm with you," is powerful on its own, but together, they form a psychological triad that speaks to the deepest layers of the male subconscious. Think of it like a triangle of emotional resonance. "I see you" gives recognition. It answers the shadow's longing to be acknowledged. "I appreciate you" gives value. It awakens the king and nourishes his sense of significance. "I'm with you" gives safety. It strengthens the hero and fulfills the lover's desire for belonging. When spoken together, these three phrases do more than just sound sweet. They create a full-spectrum experience: recognition, validation, and security. This combination is so rare that it imprints itself deeply into the subconscious, making you unforgettable. Why is this so effective? Because most people only meet one of these needs at a time. A man might be recognized at work, but not appreciated at home. He might feel safe with his friends, but not truly seen. Rarely does he encounter a person who can touch all three needs in harmony. That's why these words carry such power. They bypass the superficial layers of polite conversation and go straight to the core of his psyche. They speak to his archetypes, his subconscious patterns, and his emotional memory. And once those are activated, he cannot simply forget. He feels drawn back to you, almost magnetically, because you represent something his mind and heart crave deeply. This is not manipulation. This is resonance. Jung believed that, when we connect through symbols, we awaken something universal in another person. These three words are symbols of presence, value, and alliance. And when you speak them, you become part of his inner world, woven into the story his subconscious is constantly telling. So remember, it's not about saying them casually. It's about saying them with intention, emotion, and truth. If you embody these words, their impact becomes tenfold, because the subconscious does not just listen, it feels. Now that you understand the power of the three words, "I see you," "I appreciate you," "I'm with you," it's time to see the bigger picture. Carl Jung believed that words are not just tools for communication, they are symbols that shape reality. Every word we speak leaves an imprint on someone else's subconscious, consciously or unconsciously. By using these three phrases with intention and emotion, you create a bond that is not superficial, but profound. You become a rare presence in a man's mind, a source of recognition, value, and safety that he cannot forget. The key is not frequency, but authenticity. Saying these words without true feeling will not trigger the subconscious response. But when they come from a place of genuine care and awareness, they resonate deeply. They touch his archetypes, speak to his emotional memory, and create a connection that lasts. Remember, This is not manipulation. This is understanding human psychology at its deepest level. Jung's insights remind us that language shapes reality, that symbols carry weight beyond conscious thought, and that connection is built through intentional presence. So, if you wish to make a lasting impression, start with awareness. See him, appreciate him, stand with him. These 3 words may be simple, but their impact is profound. They unlock pathways in the mind that few words ever reach, and they allow you to create a connection that feels both natural and powerful. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, like, share, and subscribe for more lessons inspired by Carl Jung and the psychology of human connection. Use the knowledge wisely, and let the power of language guide your relationships.